Good afternoon and welcome everyone to the Caddie Chronicles webinar series. We're very much excited to be starting webinar series for our partners at the PGA and LPGA. Today's topic is crafting and executing an effective golf marketing strategy. First, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Sean McLeod. I'm the Director of Digital Experience here at Caddie. As well, my colleague Jennifer Kirby is joining us. Jennifer, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining. Always such a fun topic to get started. As Sean mentioned, my name is Jennifer Kirby, and I'm the Director of Managed Marketing here at Club Caddie. So without further ado, let's get into the webinar. Today, we're going to be going over how to craft a successful marketing strategy. We'll review what types of platforms you could or should be focusing on, examples of campaign ideas to support your business, and we'll hopefully give you some nice examples and takeaways that hopefully you'll be able to put into practice. So a quick overview here. We're going to go through the importance of the marketing plan. We're going to cover how to reach your audience, whether that be through your website, your digital platforms, and also using the data that you can find through your golf management software. And then we're going to get into some takeaways and just a few conclusions. So to kick it off, we'll start talking about the importance of a marketing plan. So the first thing that I tend to see in the golf industry is that marketing for 90%, give or take, of golf courses is either completely neglected or it tends to be a shared responsibility by many at the club, which we all know how that kind of goes. So when talking to clients about marketing, I tend to see marketing as usually an afterthought, and it tends to be very reactive, or they've put out some good promotions, but maybe they can't quite directly correlate their efforts to real results, which obviously can cause a lot of confusion and will discourage people over time. So I think the importance of a marketing plan is just really to be able to have something on paper, but we'll get into a few reasons why. So what is a marketing plan and why do I need one? I think this is something that should be cleared up right away. How is a marketing plan different from a marketing strategy? I like to give the example of, say, Walmart versus a Target or Publix. Whereas Walmart, the overall marketing strategy is they're focusing on low prices, and that's kind of their MO whenever they're speaking to their customers. It's all about them getting the best deal, lowest price, in and out, saving money. Whereas the marketing strategy behind someone like Publix, where their motto is where shopping is a pleasure, it's definitely more about the experience, the treasures you might find, the way that the customers are interacting with you, that sort of thing. So it's definitely focused on another side of marketing, which is definitely much more customer satisfaction. All that being said, your marketing plan is really about the specifics that you put into action to really make that overall marketing strategy, that broad stroke, come to life. So a few importance of having a marketing plan. One, it provides overarching goal. Two, they provide a clear strategy, which helps support effective campaigns. It creates realistic parameters. Who's doing what? When? Is this feasible? It drives engagement, revenue, and retention. It also helps you position your brand and creates consistent branding. It also creates consistency with the customer as well. And it will also help you identify your target audience. So number one, provides an overarching goal for consistent, measurable KPI tracking. So really what this means is it's giving you some type of direction. Typically, your marketing objectives are going to want to align with your overall business goal. So what is your business goal? Is it to increase revenue? Is it to make your members happy? Is it to improve your member retention at the end of the year? it could be any one of those things, but really having those in mind allows you to, it gives you your plan a bit more direction. And then those subsequent campaigns that you're running throughout the year have some type of purpose behind them. And it really makes it a lot easier to create them as well. So when I'm with clients, I like to set out about 2 to 3 goals that I think we should focus on in the year. And an example could be like the one below. So you want to increase your revenue by 20%. That's a business goal. So the marketing goal could be you might want to boost your online sales or boost your website traffic by 30% within those next 12 months. And then there's some key KPIs that you could focus on there below as well. So everything's kind of supporting on each of those goals, which ultimately supports that overarching business goal. The second reason why it's great to have a marketing plan is that it actually will help your business drive revenue or engagement, retention. It's really whatever you set it out to be. So I usually kind of have these 3 buckets that I would put clubs in, whether it's so that we have revenue focus or engagement focus or customer retention, like I mentioned. So for revenue growth, your marketing plan might only look like flash sales, stay and play bundles, lots of promotions, and just a really big focus on conversion and making sure you're constantly making your customer feel like they're getting some type of deal when they choose you. Whereas an engagement, the marketing plan might look a lot different. Maybe you're just really wanting a lot more engagement on your social media channels. You want your members to be interacting more. You want them to be sharing stuff to your social. You want them to be coming to events, that sort of thing. So it's a little bit more content marketing related. Whereas your customer retention really focuses, this could be public or private. It could focus more on loyalty programs, getting that customer feedback from your members. It could also be sending out surveys and seeing how you can improve their experience so that they really feel like they're being heard. So a lot of great ways that you can craft your marketing plan, but it's important to kind of determine which route. And it can be a combination, and throughout the year it can be very flexible as well, but good to have those in mind. Another really important area or reason to have a marketing plan is to avoid that chaotic energy that's happening on the right side of the screen there. And basically, it's when people don't know who's taking charge of the marketing plan. You're having an event, who's sending out the emails, who's doing social, who has the password to the social media, all those things. So it really defines the resources that you have, which is not only budget, but also your staff. And so that you're allocating the right resources to each project, and then that will really help you determine what's feasible in the overall marketing plan as well, and not maybe taking on too much. And I think it's always great to start small. Sometimes working with clubs, you get into talking about marketing and what does an ideal marketing plan look like. And of course, you want to do all the things and have emails go out that are, right at the time that you want them to, after someone just played, or just having the best social media, doing a bunch of reels. Oh, should we have a TikTok? All those things. And I think the real recipe to success is finding what works for you and what works for your audience, which we'll get into. But it's just kind of being realistic about what you can do and then doing those things really, really well. Number 4, a marketing plan, kind of like we mentioned, really supports that effective campaign creation. So knowing what your goals are makes it much easier to determine what your marketing campaigns should be. And I like this quote: if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, which either you know it from Benjamin Franklin or it's a great Taylor Swift lyric. So we can't argue with Taylor, especially right now. She's just showing she's an ultimate businesswoman. So yeah, I like to say that, once you have those overarching goals, like we mentioned earlier, then you're able to kind of go through each goal and say, okay, what campaigns would help support those goals? So I think it's a really great exercise to grab a calendar, write down maybe your top 5 to 10 events, or even your top 5 to 10 services or revenue generated projects, and then really work backwards. So if you have an event on the 31st, how many weeks do you need to promote? And just kind of work your way back from there. Add another couple, 1 to 2 weeks for content creation, and then also add another week to make sure that you have all of your ducks in a row. You have all of the information that you need for that event before the content creation start date. So I think that's a really great way to start planning out your campaigns, and it'll make it a lot easier to help you execute that marketing plan. Number 5, branding and positioning. So kind of like we mentioned in that Publix Walmart example, having a well-crafted marketing plan really helps create that strong brand identity. So knowing what your goals are and knowing how you want to position your brand is really important. And building that out in the early stages of your marketing plan, or just having a good sense of that in general, that really helps you create consistency throughout your messaging. Okay, we really want to focus on being that person that's giving the best deals. So everything that you should be sending out is about that, and maybe not about, it's super exclusive or high end and luxury. No, your messages are always, this is the best deal, you're going to save, that sort of thing. So and it can be different, depending on what your goal is, but making sure whatever your brand identity is, it's consistent throughout all your messaging. And that's really important because it helps create customer loyalty, because they know when they open it up an email or a text or go to your social media, the messaging is going to be very much the same, and they start kind of recognizing that with every piece of content that they see from you. So speaking about just building a brand, if you're not really sure how to approach that subject, or you just want to learn more, I think this is a great book recommendation. It's called Building a Brand Story. I think it's also available in an audiobook, but yeah, just a great little read that I wanted to add in there for you. And lastly, the second last, the penultimate reason why you should have a marketing plan is because it really does, like I mentioned, provide that consistency and engagement and drives that loyalty. So not only having that recognizable brand, like we just mentioned, but it's also making sure that things are personalized to your customer. And obviously that comes with knowing who your customer is. And also it's great if you have a really good golf management software that you're able to really pinpoint who your golfers are and send content to them, specifically to them, that really focuses on what they're interested in. So for example, if it's a junior golfer, they're only getting junior pro shop deals or junior tee time related instances, or they're getting targeted with camps, things like that, or even tournaments in the area, anything like that. So it makes it feel very relevant to them. Or if you're a senior, you're just getting deals about that. You're not getting bombarded with other things. Maybe the emails are very personalized, based on what they like to buy in the pro shop, or what time of day they like to go tee off at, certain deals that only pertain to them. That makes it a much more enjoyable experience and will definitely help with the loyalty. Also, having an omni-channel experience is really important to drive that loyalty as well, and really important to keep in mind when you're making your marketing plan, is just knowing which customer touch points to really hit on for each specific person. So maybe that senior golfer isn't going to be using social media, so you really don't have to worry about pushing some of those items. So you need to be you want to create that 360 approach, but you can also be very selective on what messages are going out on which channel. And then lastly, with a good golf management software, you can also create feedback loops, which also enhance the customer experience. So like those follow-up emails or follow-up deals after they've played, and really just strengthening that brand and customer relationship. And lastly, probably one of the most important reasons to have a marketing plan, and we've definitely touched on this already a few times, is just identifying that target audience. So of course, your golf course might have a key demographic that you're very aware of, and maybe you're a growing business or a new club, then you're trying to target new members, or a public club trying to target a certain area in your certain demographic in your area. But those are more broad, which is really important to just know for general, who's engaged in your business. But when you're actually looking at some of the specific campaigns, you might want to be a little bit more specific with the target audience, like I was mentioning, whether it's a senior golfer or if it's more family oriented, just tailoring your communication and where the communication is going out, based on who that target audience is. So I always like to build out 2 to 3 customer or buyer personas and just really get kind of nitty gritty on who they are, even put a name to their face. You can probably think of people at your golf club and think of them as kind of those key representatives of those certain buckets that you want to hit on when you're creating these communications. And just think about, okay, what are they looking for? What are some of their pain points? And then how can we communicate to them to make them feel like they're being heard or they're getting the best deal? And where would we talk to them? Where are we going to have the most success? Whether it's open rates or bookings, things like that, when we're sending out these communications. So you now likely have a better idea of why a marketing plan is so important to achieving your business goals. And you probably have maybe some overarching goals in mind. But now you might be thinking, okay, my database is a mess. We don't have an Instagram. We don't have a social channel on our website. How are people going to reach us? How can we see all of this? So now let's better understand how to reach your audience and dive into some of the ways that you can set up your business for success. And also you can use your golf management software to identify and segment your target audience. So without further ado, I will pass it over to Sean.
Great. Thank you, Jennifer, for that. And it's very insightful with how to set up a marketing plan. Now, we'll spend, as you said, a little bit of time talking about how is it that we reach our audience. And, understanding your audience and how to gather information is very much probably an overlooked step. You assume that you're able to do this easily, but oftentimes, also having a plan as well is very much important in this facet of marketing as well. And the first piece of this is knowing your audience. Marketing your product, your golf course, is great and a necessary part of doing business, but knowing how to market to your audience and how they like to receive information is equally as important to be effective, really. And that's the goal here, is to be effective. Now, as an operator, you have a leg up in that you know your audience because you interact with them every single day regularly, and you're able to really kind of create a more personalized experience and really understand what resonates with them. With this information, you're going to be able to kind of get some great information. One is going to be through customer segmentation, and what obviously we mean by this is that by segmenting your audience, you can really tailor your marketing efforts to each group's specific needs and wants and what their preferences are in terms of information they receive and how they receive it. Also, as well, too, you're in a great position because you can also leverage your GMS or golf management software as well. It has a ton of great information there and insights about your customers' behaviors, their preferences, their buying habits as well, too. Also, as well, the feedback loops. This is a great way to be able to get feedback from your consumer, from your customer, through the use of surveys, which can be added to any email that you send out or anything along those lines, maybe comment cards or even online reviews as well too. This gives you direct insights into the satisfaction level of your customers and potential areas for you to improve on at the facility. Lastly, as well too, by knowing your audience, you're going to be able to send personalized information and offers to them, maybe recommend them certain tea times based on their preferences. And you can, of course, as well address them by name. So really knowing your audience is probably the very first step, but you're really have a leg up already by knowing what their preferences are. Also, as well too, there's so many different ways in which you can communicate, whether it be through various channels of marketing, also as well through social platforms. But your customer and how they would like to receive communication. Maybe you have a younger audience, and as a result, you like to maybe prefer to communicate with them through social platforms, or maybe you have more of an older audience and they prefer to receive emails. So knowing their preferences is very much important in this point. Also, as well too, and this is not commonly done, but actively engaging with your golfers. So respond to their inquiries, comments, and even suggestions on the different platforms and social media and such, and email as well. Giving them a voice and letting them be heard is very much important as well too, in terms of how it is that they like to communicate and get their feelings across as well. Also, as well, just it never hurts to analyze the strategies of others that are engaging with your golfers. So maybe you can look at other golf courses that are local to you, and they can provide potential valuable insights into what's working and maybe where you can differentiate yourself as well. I think it's always very much important, though, to kind of put a bow onto this piece, is that the more you know about your audience and taking the time to understand them, the better you can tailor your marketing campaigns to really meet their needs and really engage with them, whether it be through the various marketing platforms. So we now know a little bit more about knowing our audience, but how is it that we can gather information about them? Well, the first one up here that we have listed is email and text. Now, obviously, this is probably the most commonly used way of communicating. It's a powerful tool. Obviously, we know this. But by using email and text, you're also able to gather valuable insights about your players. If used correctly through campaigns, you can gather data that gives you great insights into your marketing campaigns and potentially can enhance the golfer's experience as well too. Some of the ways you can do this is through the use of surveys and feedback forms that are embedded in the emails. This is something to me that's easily done. Make a habit of all the emails that you send out. Maybe at the bottom of the email, have a place in which you can have surveys or feedback forms available that maybe links to a Google Doc or whatever else it might be, a Google form that allows them to give feedback about their experience at your golf course. Also, as well too, gathering information help you segment your email and text list to better target specific groups. Also, as well too, leverage the reporting that you have in your emailing platform. It allows you to, oftentimes monitor the open rate, maybe the unsubscribe rate as well too, and the click-through rates to allows you to understand people that are clicking on the call to actions that are embedded in your emails and what they're interested in. You can use this information to continue to build upon that. If people like, maybe to click on the online deals or event calendars or something along those lines, maybe it's important to embed those more often in your emails as well. Most email platforms also employ or offer something called A/B testing. This allows you to refine your subject lines in your email or your text. The idea being here is that you can have multiple different subject lines. It sends each of those subject lines out to a small segment of your mailing list. Once it's identified which subject line had a better open rate, it will send then the rest of the bulk of the emails in that mailing list to those people with the winner of that particular testing. Also, as well too, many platforms offer the ability to set up automated responses based on actions coming from your GMS as well too. This is a great way to kind of set it and forget it, but be reactionary when it comes to maybe somebody books a reservation, maybe they haven't played at your golf course in 30 days, or maybe it's a follow-up after someone completed a round as well too, to gather information in terms of how their experience was as well. Lastly as well too, it's very much important to be consistent when it comes to email and texting communication. The idea being here is you don't want to do it just, whenever the mood hits you or, something's coming up. Having a plan to be consistent allows you to build a robust database and insights, and it shows a lot more in terms of the actions of your players and people when it comes to the communicating with them through marketing platforms. Last, and probably, the easiest and maybe most overlooked way to gather information is through your CRM. Obviously, as well too, we all are using GMS systems. The big piece here is that you're going to be able to gather he has played or has purchased at your golf course at any point as well. I'm going to pass it back over to Jennifer to talk a little bit more about strategies to connect with golfers.
Yeah, as Sean mentioned, there's so many great things you can do to segment your audience, and there's also so much information that you're taking in, but it is really important that you are taking in that information. I know that sometimes, checking people in, and maybe even you're just used to having a club that's a bit more pen and paper, but really relying on your GMS to be the vehicle for your marketing and really just to get as much data in as you can will really help you be able to strengthen your marketing and create a better experience for your golfer as well, because you can get so granular and really personalize those communications. So I have ran into we've had some clients that either they've just came on and they haven't used our platform before, like our GMS system before, or they're just not quite gathering the information as well as they could. So I always want to say that whether you're having an in-person or online event, just try and gather as much information as you can. And that's, their email address, their first name, last name, phone number, even those items you're able to personalize a bit. But simple ways to do that, you can have raffles, you can have giveaways on your social media to encourage them to sign up for emails. You can have a guest list at public events at the club. You can do site pop-ups. You can do sign-up forms on your website. You could, if you have a mobile app, that's a great way to ask for all their information when they're signing up. And even QR codes placed around the golf course if they want to subscribe to email updates, or if they're interested in a certain event. Using an event online tool instead of just calling into the pro shop, you're kind of getting those additional pieces of information that's really important. So then you can go back and say, oh, so-and-so was interested in this event, they signed up this way, or they're really using the mobile app. We should send more communications to them through the mobile app, that sort of thing. So just being really intentional about gathering that information is important. And then just a few more little free ideas, because I know sometimes you might feel like you don't have much of a database, and you think that maybe you need to do paid ads right away just to get those emails right into your system. But there are a few ways that you can create a bigger reach or just grow your email database for free, and that's by optimizing your social channels, making sure you have those the right keywords in your bio. So say if you're a golf course in Michigan, you definitely want to have the word golf, you want to have the word Michigan, you want to have anything that might help you pop up first, basically, when someone is searching. Reels are great because they not only are sent to your audience, but they'll be able to be discoverable using the right hashtags for other audiences in the Discover channels. So if other people are interested in Michigan Golf or something like that, and you have the right hashtags, they're likely going to be shown your content. Creating a sign up page on your website, like I mentioned, doing giveaways, whether that's in person or online, tagging people if you can, or encouraging shares. Also, I would encourage reaching out to local bloggers or even micro influencers in the golf industry and offering them a free product or service in return for a posting, and then you're going to be exposed to all of their followers as well. Your Google business page, just making sure you have all your information up to date, and you can also share on there like a social platform, sorry. Try to collaborate with other local businesses, whether it's going to having a setup at the local market or allowing other companies to host charity events at the golf course, anything like that, to just expose more people to your business and incorporate more ways that you can maybe gather more new customers or even just their contact information. And then lastly, kind of like we're doing today, hosting a webinar or an online workshop, or if you have an instructor at your golf course, maybe you're offering a free monthly event or clinic, which is a great way, again, to introduce people in the area, whether it's a new golfer or existing golfer, introducing them not only to the game, but to your club and all the facilities that you have. So that's a lot of information to consume on websites, but obviously it's very important. All that being said, it's really important to optimize your opportunities in whether it's in person or online. So let's take a better
Perfect.
look
Thanks,
at how to
Jennifer. And thanks for
optimize
the
your
free
website
ideas. I
to
kind of
reach
want to
your
become a
audience.
micro
And I'll pass it
influencer, I
back over
think.
to
So I
Sean.
appreciate that insight. Yeah. So as Jennifer said, obviously, when we think about, optimizing the websites, we want a nice, fresh looking website, but really it goes beyond that. It's all about really optimizing your online presence. So it's more than just having a website. It includes everything that represents your course online and how players connect with you online as well too. When we look at this day and age, having a really strong online presence is really essential to attract and engage golfers to come to your golf course. It's more than just the website, though. As I said, it really is all about all-encompassing and everything that comes along with that as well too. So really, I've listed here sort of 5 best practices and 5 kind of things to look at when you're looking at optimizing your online presence. First of which being some of the best practices that we suggest when it comes to designing a website. Also as well too, we'll talk a little bit about the importance of SEO, so search engine optimization. We'll also talk a little bit about Google Business and Google Analytics as well. And then lastly, we'll touch on security. So this one for me is near and dear to my heart. I think that when I look at golf courses, and oftentimes when we see websites come in, you look at it and you wonder, things haven't been updated maybe in 2 or 3 years. It's not clean looking. It's not intuitive. It's not really easy to use. There's really kind of 3 things that jumps out when it comes to you wanting to build a website. And this is just from our experiences. And I think all this for all of us, when we go to a website, it's not very clean or nice to look at, you're kind of already kind of turned off a little bit by the business. So the big thing that we always suggest, we want a website that is first off visually appealing. We want to ensure the website has high quality images, has a professional design that reflects really kind of the feel for your golf course. When you look at it that way, maybe your golf course is tree lined and you want to have something that's very much has that kind of feel or more classic, whatever else it might be. The visual appeal of a website really goes a long way in conveying the vibe you're trying to get across about your golf course. So I can't underscore enough, high quality images, high quality videos, making sure that it's updated consistently. We don't want to have images or captions that are maybe well outdated. We want to make sure that we're keeping it up to date. Next as well too, we want to make sure it has a user-friendly interface. What we mean by this is that we want the golfer to be able to easily navigate around your website without having to do much guessing. We don't want the menu bar to have 15 different menu options. We want to make it as clutter-free as possible. We really want to show off the key call to actions and the key items that are most important to you, especially for commerce side. If you want to make people that make tea times online, then having your tea time booking tool, a call to action button front and center, nice and big so people can easily see it. Having it in multiple places, maybe on the menu bar as well too, is very much important. Making it so that it's almost dummy proof for players to kind of easily find their way around with what it is that they're looking for. Also, as well too, we want to make sure that the website is mobile responsive. And obviously most of us, and I can speak for myself, is that I'm on my phone all the time, and I look up whatever I need to on my phone all the time. So you want to make sure that when your website is being designed, when you're doing updates to the website, whatever else it might be, that you're making sure not only it looks good when it's coming on your computer, but also as well too that it looks great when you're on a tablet or on your phone as well. And you can work with whoever builds your website on that as well too to ensure that is indeed the case. Next up, we're going to talk a little bit about SEO. So SEO, what that means is search engine optimization. It's the process used to optimize a website's technical configuration, content relevance, and link popularity so its pages can become really easily findable. The idea here is that the more relevant and popular search queries that you can use will help and rank you better when people are doing searches online. So a couple of strategies that you'd want to use is first keyword optimization. Really do your homework and find key relevant keywords that can be put into your website that really describes who it is that you are. Jennifer mentioned a bit earlier from golf courses in Michigan. You want to make sure that on your website it mentions Michigan and golf, and maybe the area in which you are within Michigan as well too is very much important to make it easily discoverable. Because when you think about when people are searching for a golf course in Michigan, you want to make sure that you pop up automatically as well. You also want to make sure that you're creating quality content. Create engaging and informative content that also resonates with your golfers and search engines alike. What that means is it's all about regularly updating your website with fresh, valuable information. When we think about websites, oftentimes you set it, you forget it, and you just leave it be for years upon years. Nothing gets changes, but things evolve, things change. And so it's important to refresh your website. I can speak for myself again. We encourage our website customers to consistently share information with us, to update the website, to make sure that they have relevant data pertaining to the time of the year. Maybe things have changed, a new offering at the golf course, whatever it might be. We want to make sure it stays fresh. And also as well too, lastly, we want to focus on metadata. You want to craft compelling meta descriptions that encourage clicks from search engines and result pages as well. So this can really help and drive traffic to your site. Next up, Google business listing. Now, this may, from a lot of people, seem very just common sense, obvious, right? That, when you do a search online and you type in, golf course X, that it should automatically pop up in Google on the right-hand side, a Google business profile. But you'll be surprised. There's many golf courses out there that maybe don't have a Google business profile, or maybe it hasn't been updated again in years and years and years and years. A really interesting piece of information is that Google's market share in terms of the desktop search engines worldwide from January of 2015 until July of 2023 was 85% of searches, meaning that of all the searches done worldwide on something online, Google was used 85% of the time. So when you think about that in terms of just the number of times people will maybe type in your golf course in Google to do a search, and the first thing you see on the right-hand side is incomplete profile or a non-existent profile, it's very much important that, you keep that up to date. You claim it first and foremost, that you have it verified by Google. Obviously, you want to have control and the credibility for your golf course. But I think it's overlooked is that you want to have accurate, updated information there as well too. This is a great place where you can have accurate details about your operating hours, contact information. You can feature events there. If you sell stuff online, you can have items there you can sell online within that Google business profile. So it's a very important part of the business to keep updated, and it's often overlooked as well. And also as well too, there's obviously a place within this profile where customers can review your business. This is also a good part, and sometimes it's painful. I know that when you see maybe a complaint or there's a review, it's very important that you engage there as well too, and engage with the customer, but also as well, obviously, positive reviews can help boost your credibility as well. Coupled with Google Business, and if most people are looking your business up online, and 85% of the people that are searching for you are searching through Google, is very important also as well to leverage Google Analytics to be able to track and analyze your website traffic. It provides a ton of great information in terms of the visitor behavior, and helps help you make more informed decisions when it comes to your business. Google Analytics will kind of give you some insights in terms of the visitor demographics. It allows you to really get a little more of a deeper dive into the demographics of the people that come to your website. You can understand their age, location, what interests them as well too. You can see the traffic sources. This shows you how your visitors find your website, whether it's through search engines or social media or referrals or whatever else it might be. Also as well too, this is an important piece. This is also great, Google, to track conversions. So, people are going to your websites, searching through Google, but then it can track then the fact that maybe people are then booking a tea time, or maybe signing up for a newsletter, or a book, signing up for an event, whatever it might be. This helps you gauge really the effectiveness of your website in helping achieve your goals. Lastly, and probably the most overlooked piece of your online presence, is just the overall security of your website. Obviously, safeguarding sensitive information is always very much important, and enhancing your online presence, by doing a few things will go a long way. So one being is that you want to ensure that you have an SSL certificate, By implementing this, it'll help to encrypt your data transmitted between the website and the visitors as well too. So a very important point. Also as well too, where possible, you want to make sure that there are various different security plugins to help guard against threats like malware, hacking attempts, etc. Now depending upon who you're working with for website design, website management, they'll be managing this in most cases. But if from the odd case, maybe it's a one-off, you want to make sure that you have the proper security plugins to help protect you against evildoers, I guess you could say. Also as well too, obviously, you just want to make sure that your software is up to date. And that you are allowing for those updates to happen, making sure that the security patches, ensuring that any sort of vulnerabilities that you may have are addressed as well too. So when you kind of put these all together, the website design piece, making sure we're a nice looking website, boosting your SEO, really working closely with Google, and then security pieces as well too. All those things put together will really help and optimize your online presence. So when you think about a well-crafted digital presence, it helps and attracts golfers, instills confidence and trust as well too in your business. Ultimately, this will help in contributing to your golf marketing efforts as well. Perfect. So next step, we talked about obviously going through your online presence, talking about knowing your audience. Now, how is it that we reach your audience, through email marketing? So email marketing is the most highly used and probably still the most effective way to connect with your audience for marketing purposes. Email marketing offers, the direct channel for engaging with your golfers. And you can leverage it really to help drive your success, through a few different ways. Obviously, you can send targeted communications. All email marketing platforms, in most cases, allow you to segment your database and based on potential different criteria, maybe including their behaviors, their demographics, their preferences, their membership type, whatever else it might be. And this way, you're able to send specific marketing to them that resonates with them. Obviously, I think Jennifer mentioned it earlier. you don't want to be sending senior members junior, club information. You want to make sure that that particular membership type or player type is getting marketing that is important to them, that will help engage them. Because again, the last thing you want to do is have them, unsubscribe or unengage from your mailing because it's not targeted towards them. Also, as well too, and to me, this is an easy one, and it's not done nearly enough, is the use of automated campaigns. Now, automated campaigns are meant to help with streamlining your marketing efforts. Now, automated campaigns can be used for a lot of different reasons. I think I mentioned a few before, but you welcome emails for new golfers, maybe birthday emails, maybe post-round feedbacks where you can have surveys embedded into them as well too. By setting them and forgetting them, these are still probably the most effective in terms of engagement, and it helps saves time and ensures a consistent line of communication between you and your customers. One which I think is very much important, and sometimes it's maybe a bit of a touchy subject, because promotions and special offers, while we look at them in a certain way as maybe being hindering our business, if anything, I think that it helps the business. And when we look at in this day and age, in this digital age, we've been so conditioned now to wait for a deal, expect a deal. Black Friday's coming up, Cyber Monday's coming up. We, when it comes to maybe our holiday shopping experience, we oftentimes wait for events like this to then at that point engage in our shopping, because we know that we're getting better value, maybe a special offer, a discount, an exclusive deal, whatever else it might be. It's not a dirty word, and it's not a dirty tactic to use when it comes to marketing and engaging customers. I always used to say to my previous teams, our biggest goal is to engage the customer, whether it be, getting them to book a tea time or, purchasing an item. But typically what they do, they're not done there. If they come to the golf course, they book a tea time because of a promotion, they're going to buy, a bag of teas, a box of golf balls, a sandwich, a drink at the turn, whatever else it might be. So we may be losing, $5 or $10 based off that tea time and that promotion. However, we're going to be making it back through the other avenues as well too. So I think looking at promotions and special offers and leveraging these tools to be able to engage customers and get them to come in and spend when maybe they wouldn't spend otherwise is very much an important part. One quick little sort of tidbits that I'd like to kind of mention here is that nearly all the consumers out there, so say 94%, when asked, how is it that they shop, they say that they search for a deal when shopping online. So that's 94%. That's pretty much almost everybody looks for a deal. Also as well too, 62% of consumers also agreed with the statement that they cannot complete a purchase before searching for an offer. So again, understand that it's promotions and special offer emails is not a bad tactic. It's the tactic to engage customers, and most times it's the most effective way to do it as well. Lastly, a great way to leverage email marketing is by offering engaging content. Create engaging content in your emails, whether it be a subject line to capture someone's attention. Incorporating great images, videos, showcasing your golf course's beauty and amenities is a great way to engage customers through email marketing as well. Now that we've sent the emails or sending messages out, it's very much important, obviously, to then track that. I think all too often we send out messages and just let it go out into the ether, and we really don't know truly how effective it is, and what our customers engage with and what they really kind of enjoy the most coming for us. And every single email marketing platform will have reporting tools, and they'll have these 4 specific reports are probably the most important ones that we can pull out and kind of take a deeper dive into. First one being, and this most obvious one is the open rate. Open rate indicates the percentage of recipients that actually opened the email. So often we know that we have emails that are sent that maybe they just go directly into the junk box or go into the trash without even anyone opening them. So really understanding your open rates based on subject lines or the sender name is very much important. So monitoring your opening rates, understanding what's effective, what's not, is very much important. We have the person now opening the email. The next one report we want to look into is the click-through rate. This measures the percentage of email recipients who clicked on a link or clicked on the call to action within your email. Obviously, the higher the click-through rate is, that shows that whatever you have in the body of that email is compelling to that particular person who received the email, and that they're interested and engaged in what you have to say or whatever it's asking them to do as well too. So by understanding what is being clicked through most often is a really great piece of information to have in your back pocket when you're building more emailing and more marketing as well too. Conversion rates, again, we're going to take it one step further. We have them open, they've clicked through. Maybe what we're asking them to do, maybe it's book a tea time, maybe it's sign up for an event, buy something online. They've gone through all that, and now they're actually completing that particular task. By kind of seeing them how they've gone through the whole process and completing that process with the conversion rates, again, it indicates the effectiveness of what your message was and what you're asking them to do. By seeing what that is, obviously you can leverage that information later on to mimic that particular workflow. The last one, probably the one that is equally as important as the three that we mentioned before, is the unsubscribe rate. This tells you the people that have seen your information, what they're giving you, and they're not interested, and they've probably seen enough in terms of previous emails to know that what you're sending them is not important to them, and then they click on the unsubscribe button. By seeing that, if you see you have a low rate, then what you're sending out is very much important to your customer base. However, if you're seeing a higher unsubscribe rate, that should tell you, again, what we're sending them is not important to them. We need to maybe reevaluate what we're sending at that particular point. Great. So creating intentional campaigns. So I'll pass this over to Jennifer.
Awesome. Yeah, that was a lot of great information, especially on websites, because it really truly is very important and where a lot of those conversions are made. And you definitely don't want to waste all that time and effort towards your campaigns that you've put towards your campaigns to have people land on, a faulty website that, maybe there's links broken, or it's slow, or it doesn't look like what you thought it was going to look like, all that good stuff. So really, really important there. So getting into actually creating campaigns, you have your marketing plan created, you have your database of customers. Hopefully it's nice and clean data and maybe even segmented. Your website is optimized based on all of Sean's great tips. And now you're ready to actually start creating those campaigns. So like I mentioned before, typically I like to kind of put these into buckets. So this would be the first bucket, having that more revenue focused campaign, specifically for a course that's maybe trying to attract more golfers, boost memberships, increase overall revenues. So here are just kind of a few ideas to go about those types of campaigns. So offering, like Sean said, and I'm definitely guilty of this, I love a good deal and will pretty much only shop for a good deal. So I've definitely been waiting for a while now, leading up to Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So just offering great promotion packages and promotions. Obviously, you want to do items that are very authentic to your golf course. So really make it work, and kind of, I think every course probably knows what their bread and butter is. So really knowing what that is and leaning into that, I think is really, really important. And there's also different ways that you can have the same promotion, but package it differently, and just see what really resonates with your clients or your customers. So, a lot of great examples here, having a membership drive. I think every winter, spring season, there's a lot of that's a great time to start having those prepaid package options or membership drives. You can have stay and play options, also trying to get people, to book ahead, lesson bundles, round bundles, punch cards, all that good stuff, to make them feel like they're getting some type of discount by buying early. And obviously that helps, kind of pad up that revenue at the beginning of the year and start the year off right. So those are all great ways of attracting and retaining customers. So moving on to more customer retention engagement campaigns. So again, like we've mentioned, feedback and surveys, whether it's at the end of the year or every quarter with a membership, or having that regular option at the end of an email. That's really important to offer incentives such as discounts, giveaways, all that good stuff in exchange for a feedback or survey. Also, it tells you more about your business and how you can improve, which is great. Creating loyalty programs. I put Starbucks on the right side here because that's a great example of how a loyalty program, and kind of going back to what Sean said, like when you maybe lose that $5 to $10 on that round, but you're really getting it back through all these different other revenue drivers, like the food and beverage. Maybe they're buying something in the pro shop because they might not typically golf there, but because there was that great deal, they decided they want to grab something to commemorate that day or something like that. But I think of when I go to Starbucks and I have that free drink that I've been, working towards, and then I don't feel as bad, adding something else to the order because, hey, my drink was just free. So there's a lot of great psychology in creating those loyalty programs and making people feel like they're getting a deal. A lot of times people don't want to be sold to, they want to feel like they're being rewarded. So I think that's what this customer retention and engagement campaigns can be all about. And also, a lot of these rewards programs are very personalized. So making sure that you're actually speaking to your membership or your golfers and making it feel like you're personally thanking them, or writing an update that sounds like it's just for them, to make them feel more involved, whether it's in the club or making it seem like they're just not another number at this public golf course, and that you actually really appreciate their business. They're definitely going to be more likely to return to your club. Also, exclusive events or webinar campaigns, just to keep people in the loop. If they're maybe part of a VIP list and they feel like they're the only ones getting this certain invite or offer, that's a great way to get people engaged. Also, I like to give the example of Peloton for like a milestone celebration. Maybe it's if you play so many rounds, or if you've bought so many bucket of balls, that you're actually acknowledged and rewarded, like, hey, you're doing a great job, here's 10% off your next lesson, or something like that, that makes it just a little bit more personalized. And again, they're going to feel more of a connection to your club versus maybe another club that's not doing any type of outreach. And then again, exclusive early access campaigns, kind of like I mentioned, that VIP list. You're the first one to get this offer. You're probably seeing that a lot right now with the Black Friday, Cyber Monday campaigns. If you're already signed up to someone's email list, or if you're not, they're definitely wanting you to sign up so that you have this early access to all these deals, and you're going to get the deals before the public, that sort of thing. It can still be applied to golf courses. So maybe they open up the tee sheet for you before other players, or certain products and services are available to you before the public, or before a golfer that might not be as engaged with the club. So those are a lot of fun ideas to just think about, and also just to kind of spice up your marketing and make it feel a little bit different, and it'll definitely get a lot more eyeballs and more engagement. So basically, in summary, what I'm trying to say on that last page is that customer satisfaction really equals customer loyalty. So you want to engage your customer. You want to make them feel like you're adding value. You're creating a strong relationship, and overall, it's just going to result in loyalty to your club. So, a bunch of outcomes that you can see through that is that you likely get more people giving feedback, which feedback is a positive thing.
they care enough to give feedback to your business because they want to go there and they want your business to improve. List growth, more people signing up to your email database or your text database. And the engagement will show that if your engagement is going up, it's just showing that you're doing a good job really connecting with them and what they're interested in. And so you'll, like I mentioned, you'll see better participation. So here are a few key ideas or key tactics, I guess, to help you set your campaign up for success. So I think, like we've mentioned, definitely don't want to just be, firing off emails left, right, and center to every single person on your list. Definitely be realistic. Not only realistic for, who you're sending out. Like you're obviously not going to send out an email every single day to every single person on your list. But you want to be realistic on what you can commit to. So if you are going to do that monthly newsletter to increase engagement, can you commit to that monthly newsletter? Is it going to go out on November 1st or December, the first of the month, every month? Because it's really important. People start to expect something after a while and they like routine and they want to know that on the first of the month they can read about, certain happenings around the club. So just be realistic about what those time constraints are and also your budgeting. Be intentional, like I just mentioned. You definitely don't want to be sending certain emails to certain people and vice versa. Say it's, you're targeting senior men with ladies league emails, or if you have a semi-private club, obviously you want to keep your membership information very separate from anything that's going out to the public. Also plan ahead, like I mentioned with that exercise, giving yourself great time in advance. Maybe during this off-season time is a great time to really reevaluate your strategy, make sure you have all your ducks in a row and plan those events. A couple of best practices here. Major events, you might want to start promotion 1 to 3 months in advance. Smaller events, probably 4 to 6 weeks. And obviously that can grow with more intensity or frequency as you lead up to the event. So major event, maybe you're sending one email every 2 weeks at the beginning, but then the last week where you're really pushing that sign up to make sure people are coming, you're going to maybe have a few more emails going out that week. So yeah, use a calendar to really plan out the cadence. That's important. It's important to, not just say that you're going to do something, but actually, commit yourself to something, maybe have a project management tool and really put down those key dates and keep yourself accountable there. And then also setting those clear goals, like Sean mentioned, if you have a great golf management software or email marketing platform, you're going to be able to use all this great data when you're creating your campaigns, but you also want to see those results as well. So you want to know that your efforts were worth it. And then also you can learn a lot from your efforts and learn a lot from the results that you're getting from these campaigns, which allows you to optimize your next campaign, whether you're tweaking who you're sending it out to or which platforms you're going to send out your information, all that good stuff. So making sure you set clear goals so that you can really keep yourself accountable and see honestly how things went for that campaign, and then compare over time. And maybe it's monthly or quarterly, and even if you're reaching 5 more golfers every month, it will show and it will grow over time that your efforts were worth it. And then lastly, always identifying that target audience for every single campaign. It's really important to not only determine how you're going to create the deal or create the message, but also making it very personalized to their needs and and just making them feel like the campaign is very personalized to what they would want to see in their inbox. Additionally, making sure your website and mobile and social presence is all optimized. We gave a lot of great tips there, and there's a lot of great valuable information through your golf management software to help you optimize your campaigns. Personalization, again, through your golf management software, a lot of great information there to tailor not only the name in the email, but you could have items like, okay, don't send this promotion to this person because I know that they don't like to play during this certain time, or I know that they're out of town, they're only tourists, so we're only going to send, these emails to this person. It's really personalization kind of really goes hand in hand with that segmentation of your email lists. So making sure you can tailor your message as much as possible will really help drive those click-through rates and those conversion rates, as Sean mentioned. And again, people don't want to be sold to. So the more personalized it feels, it's more just kind of that your friend saying, hey, there's this great deal or there's this great event I think you'd be really interested in, rather than, buy, sell. And lastly, as we mentioned before, and through all of these instances, just kind of creating that 360 approach. Obviously, a lot of these campaigns can look different depending on what your goal is and who your target audience is, but using a few of or all of these channels is really important to create optimal reach and engagement. So social, email, paid, maybe during certain times of the year if you want to reach more people depending on your goal. Content marketing, making sure you have great images or blogs or stories on your website to engage your customers. And also using those offline channels, like mentioned, collaborating with local businesses, even print. I mean, having the right items around your golf course, having QR codes, making sure they're aware of things that are happening online and how to stay more connected to the golf course. All those great things are easy ways to help complement your campaign strategy.
Great. Well, thanks so much, Jennifer, for really recapping that well. Now, we've gone through email marketing. Now, obviously, there's other ways in which we can connect with our audience through marketing, and so we'll talk a little bit more about that. We'll start with SMS. Now, for better or worse, I can speak for myself. I am on my phone all the time. My wife tells me probably way too much. If you want to get me, though, the quickest way is through my phone or through texting. So that's why, SMS offers probably the most direct and immediate means of being able to communicate with your customers. Now, in the context of golf, this can be leveraged to update your players on weather conditions, maybe last minute tee time availability, special promotions, that really can help, sort of influence the way in which a engaged customer may perform an action. So maybe they weren't thinking of it, but maybe now that they see there's a last minute tee time availability, well, hey, maybe I'm going to play now. And the best way to do that is through SMS. Now, obviously, there's a lot of different ways in which SMS can be leveraged, but I think the underscore here is that it allows the golf course to communicate directly with their players and engage in a really quick and fast manner for all the reasons we just mentioned. Real-time alerts, I think, is the best way to kind of think of it. It's not going to be leveraged necessarily in the same way as email marketing or even social media marketing. However, it's a way to have quick, maybe we'll call it quick hits in terms of really eliciting an action that then could potentially engage a customer to make a quick decision on something as well. Something else that I think maybe is not thought of as much, but I can tell you from our own experiences here that, using mobile for push notifications, and coupling that with geofencing as well too is a really great way to elicit actions or reactions directly from your customer as well. So obviously push notifications based through mobile apps are great. They alert golfers to special offers, maybe upcoming events, reminders, maybe weather conditions again. It's really just a means by which to keep your engaged audience who have downloaded your app informed and connected. Now also as well too, geofencing really kind of takes this a little bit of a step further. And this allows for the app to have notifications that are triggered based on a player's proximity to the golf course. This allows for a golf course to capitalize on the context of the player's visit and their location. So, this is great for proximity-based marketing. So ideally, the idea being here, if I'm maybe close to the golf course or I'm arriving at the golf course, it can, maybe not for marketing purposes, but it can enlist me to check in early to get directly to the first tee. Or maybe it'll let me know that today only there is a food and beverage special that I now know about, and maybe I'll take advantage of for lunch or for dinner or whatever it might be, or maybe last minute tea times, or promoting a new on-site service or a new event or whatever else it might be. By using push notifications along with geofencing, you're able to really harness the power to really make I guess, again, we talked about loyalty on and on and on, but again, by communicating with them based on where they're at and meeting them halfway will, oftentimes drive immediate bookings, drive maybe additional revenue, and really helps in, I guess, allow the customer to really get the most out of their experience when they're arriving to your golf course, I guess is the best way to put it. So we talked about email. We've now talked a little bit about maybe SMS and using a mobile app. To me, this kind of puts a bow on everything in terms of a marketing plan, and that's social media. Obviously, social media, I think it's often we look at it different generationally. For the younger generation who has grown up with social media, we know that it can be used to really engage in terms of just through our general day-to-day. So, whether it be if I'm on Instagram or on Facebook, what was formerly Twitter, that there's oftentimes going to be marketing based off my interest or my browsing history and such like that. I think we're going to find more and more as time progresses that maybe there'll be less email marketing and we'll see increased social media marketing just based off of, how we operate. I can tell you myself personally, I don't see a ton of the marketing that comes to me directly in my email right away. However, I'm on Instagram, I'm on, X and Twitter and YouTube daily. So if you want to connect with me through marketing, obviously to me, that's probably the best place it'll be. And I feel like as time goes on for the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to see a big shift in how, we're more leveraging social media marketing, maybe less so in email marketing. Now, with all that being said, there's two really kind of like underlying points that we need to really inspect here. It's the importance of the quality of the social media marketing as well as the quantity and how often we're doing that. So when we're looking at quality, we want to, when we're marketing through social, offer high quality content that reflects positively on our golf course's brand. This can be comprised of like really strong images, high quality images, engaging videos of the course, their facility, and having the post have a purpose or be informative and resonate with your direct audience. Obviously, we're looking at the audience of who's following us on that particular platform and really trying to engage with, what it is they want to see and what they want to, take in as well. Quality content, when we look at this from, 1,000-foot level, it enhances your credibility. If you're putting out, for lack of a better way to put it, like low quality garbage type stuff that really only resonates maybe with the small segments of your market, it's not going to, be effective. So really focusing on putting out high quality content is a very important step in your social media marketing. Also, as well, too, quantity is very much just as important as well, too. Staying consistent with posting, keeps your audience engaged and your brand top of mind. Now, if we're just doing this ad hoc and when something comes to mind, oh, I'm going to do it today, or maybe I'm doing it every day, whatever else it might be, you want to find where that happy medium is for you and stay consistent throughout your year or your season as well too. So that means frequent updates showcasing, the activities going on at your golf course, the amenities, the offerings, really helps you stay relevant and top of mind for your users or for your followers, excuse me. Also as well too, something that's really kind of overlooked, which I think is equally as important, is the art of storytelling when it comes to social as well too. It's very much an important tool in connecting with your audience and creating an emotional engagement to your brand. So there are a few different ways that you can do this and create storytelling. One is a narrative arc. This is where you can share stories about the course's history, maybe unique features of your golf courses. You can even leverage your golfers to share their experiences, their memorable moments at the club. Obviously, most golfers that come to your golf course, it's not their first time there. They've been there before. They're coming back. Having them storytell or tell a fun story or a fun experience they had with their family or their friends, I think helps in creating engagement that other people want to replicate and have those similar experiences as well too. Next up is also visual storytelling. We mentioned this kind of throughout when it came to the website design. It really is just as relevant in social, is that you want to use images and videos to tell stories. So by showcasing, the most picturesque holes, behind the scenes glimpses at your course, and golfers enjoying themselves at your golf course is very much an important part. I'm not telling you to do this, but investing in a high quality camera, or even if maybe somebody at the golf course has a drone where you can take images of the golf course, really goes a long way in telling a story about your golf course and the experience at your golf course. I mentioned it earlier, but it's important to encourage your golfers to share their experiences and stories on social media about your golf courses. This is just, again, it resonates with people when people are having their own stories. They're telling a story of what happened at the golf course that they really enjoyed. Leveraging those narratives helps build community as well with your followers. The next step is creating engaging content. I think I know for myself, as a social media veteran, of someone who has been on social basically since the start, the pages, the profiles that I tend to follow and engage with the most is the one that has content that I think is engaging and resonates with me. All of these points really kind of underscore where my preferences lie when it comes to who it is I follow or I engage with online. First off, again, this is just underlining this same theme is the visual appeal. When you're creating content, you want it to be high quality. You want to convey high quality, of your facility, and doing so by using high quality images, videos as well too helps capture attention and showcases the landscape, golfers in action, and the unique features of your course. Having posts that are interactive as well too is a great way to engage customers and keep them, engaged with your brand as well too. We know within like Instagram, there's in the stories, you can create polls and questions or engage with them that way. And it's such a great way to continually engage customers and create narrative and be able just to have you stay top of mind through your content as well too. So I think it's really important to be able to do those kind of things as well. Educational content. Now, most golf courses have a teaching component to them where there's lessons or there's group lessons or whatever else it might be. A great way to have people engage with your content socially is through the use of maybe posting videos on golf tips or swing advice or instructional videos as well too. Leveraging your team that has the expertise at the golf course online is a great way, again, to engage customers and maybe create more revenue for lessons or, group lessons, whatever else it might be. Again, I think we mentioned this a couple of times, whether it be through Google or wherever else it might have been, but responding promptly to comments also on social is very much important. And it shows that you're engaged with your customer and you're hearing their concerns or their feedback as well too. It's very much important. Now, the last piece of this as well, too, kind of tying it together, maybe you're not a social media savant and where should I really put my energy when it comes to social. And so here are a few breakdown of some options we have. Facebook probably is the most versatile platform, and it has a massive wide user base, probably making it the most suitable for golf course operators. You can share events easily, photos, videos, interact with your players easily. It's probably, when we look at it from a player side, this is probably the easiest platform to manage as well. Instagram is probably the next one up. Instagram has a little bit more a different purpose. Obviously, it's more visually focused and video focused. So if you're really more wanting to share the visual appeal, or just the general overall, like you want to be more visual in nature, Instagram for videos and images is probably the best way to do it. Twitter, it's great for real-time updates. So maybe you want to talk about like new course news, maybe there's, tee time availability, weather delays, whatever else it might be. Twitter's best for maybe quick bite-sized content, but for this, for the need of a golf course, maybe not the best fit. YouTube really, obviously, is mostly just focused on video content. This is great for course tours, golf tips. Really, if you want to have like a video series, hosting it on YouTube is a great place to do it, obviously, because it's the biggest platform when it comes to intakes of videos. And LinkedIn is more of a corporate focus and more focused on if maybe you're trying to engage more businesses for local corporate events or charity events, whatever it might be. This is a great place to do it as well. All told, I think the takeaway needs to be is that you need to strike a balance when it comes to social media. You want to make sure that you're putting out quality content, but also doing it in a manner that you're not overwhelming or underwhelming the consumer, the players that are engaged with your social content. Also, as well too, it's all about finding the right platform for you, knowing where your demographic lands, where they sit. Maybe if you have an older demographic, you spend more time on Facebook. But maybe if your demographic's a little bit younger, maybe you spend more time on Twitter and TikTok or whatever else it might be as well too. I think the underlying piece here is that just you need to remember that social media is not just about posting. It's about building connections and fostering engagement with your golfing audience. Perfect. So I'm going to pass it back to Jennifer just to kind of talk a little bit about our takeaways and then go with our Q&A.
Awesome. Thank you. A lot of great information there on social media. I know I definitely use social media as kind of a Google. I don't know if it's my generation, but I definitely will take to social media to see what a golf course looks like or a restaurant, see what's on the menu. I think that definitely tells the story, or if it's done right, it definitely will tell the story of the brand and hopefully entice the golfer or customer to go to that brand after seeing their social channels. So always keep that in mind, that it's definitely a showcase of your business. So anything that you're putting out on social media, you definitely want to make sure that it's representative of your business and your brand and what you're trying to portray. And so quality is super important. And also, like Sean mentioned, the more you have people engage with your brand, the better your standing is on those platforms typically. So if people are engaging more with your stories and doing the polls and things like that, they're going to see more of your content more often. So just a few great takeaways there. But to put a bow on everything, really where you should focus your energy. We've kind of hopefully laid it out here pretty nicely. Obviously, number one, we mentioned having that overall strategy is super important for anything that you do, whether it's building your website, creating those social channels, what you're actually posting, the emails that you're sending, how you're gathering information on your golf management software. Basically, just have that overarching strategy in mind before you really put pen to the paper or start doing those communications is super important. Leveraging your golf management software to understand your customer and segment them into different audiences. We went through this a lot. Obviously, having a successful marketing campaign really requires that good information. And the more detailed your data intake is, the better you'll be able to segment and really pinpoint who you send your marketing communications to. Next slide. And then moving into actually executing these campaigns, making sure your website is optimized. So if you're selling items on your website, if you're hosting forms on your website, making sure all those are working really well, making sure everything's user-friendly, and again, visually very appealing and easy to use is super important when you're creating those campaigns and having people pushed over to your website to actually make that conversion. Taking advantage of email, text, and even mobile marketing, SMS if you have it. Super important to create that 360 optimization with your campaigns and making sure that people are seeing these different promotions or event registrations a few different times on a few different platforms, so that I think people need to see something 7 times before they actually make a decision or click on a link or actually convert. So really important that people are seeing this a few different ways rather than having an event and just sending out a single email a few days before. Social media, we just covered, really making content that resonates not only with your audience, but with your brand. Before posting anything, you really want to have that strategy behind what are we using this social media platform for. Is it for engagement? Then we're really focusing on creating content that people are going to want to comment, share, things like that. Are we doing it more of a showcase and just offering high quality images so that people have a really nice overview of what they can expect and make it seem very dreamy and high quality? So a few things to think about there before creating some of that social media. And then lastly, just analyzing and improving. So the more data you have, the better you're able to make these campaigns, but also the data you have after you actually send out these campaigns is equally as important, because again, it's telling you about your customer and how they like to be marketed to and what works for them, what's resonating with them, and how they're converting, where they're converting, things like that is really important to help you strengthen your marketing and maybe even take different approaches, and definitely don't feel that once you've created your marketing campaign, you have to stick to a certain plan throughout the whole year. Marketing can be very agile, and seeing some of this data and feedback from your analytics can really help you, shape a better marketing strategy for the entire year. So stay committed to your goals, maintain an active online presence, super important to keep consistent. And through creating a realistic marketing plan, we feel that you can do just that. So that wraps up our discussion today. I hope it was insightful, hopefully not too much information. We are both available on LinkedIn if you want to connect with us. Also, we have our email addresses here. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us through email, LinkedIn. We will continue to be creating these webinars to hopefully aid you in your golf operation journey and give you some insightful tips. Our next webinar will actually be with Stu, our Director of Sales and Marketing that you see on the right here, and also Sean as well, where we'll dive more into that data-driven approach. I don't know if Shauna, you want to add anything else?
No, that's great. Thank you, Jennifer. But hope everyone had a great time in terms of just better understanding what it takes to really properly institute a marketing plan. And like Jennifer said, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us, whether it be through our emails or LinkedIn, whatever else it might be. And we look forward to hopefully hearing from you again. Have a great day, everybody.